Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the greatest recordings ever. And today, yes, we are talking about Prokofiev's Cinderella, the complete ballet. Now, Prokofiev was a marvelous ballet composer, and he wrote a whole passel of ballets. I mean, nearly a dozen of them, I think, right? 8 or 10, I don't know, a lot of them. Most of them are short, earlier works, but with Romeo and Juliet, he started to get back in touch with the grand ballet tradition of 19th century Russia, the Tchaikovsky tradition of big, full-length ballets. And Romeo and Juliet, of course, is the most famous one because it has luscious, sensual, warm, yummy, romantic melodies, just scores of them. And he succeeded Romeo and Juliet with Cinderella. Now, we all know the story. It's a wonderful story. The idiom that Prokofiev chose for Cinderella was a lot, well, not a lot, but harsher than that of Romeo and Juliet. A little bit more dissonant, a little bit more edgy, sharp-edged. Prokofiev himself sort of summarized his style as having three sort of major characteristics. First was the machine toccata, mechanical sort of style, then the romantic, melodic, lyrical style, and then the grotesque style. And so, yes, there are wonderful, wonderful tunes in Cinderella, especially the big midnight waltz, yada, yada, da, 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 da. No, it's better than that, trust me. But the midnight music with the clock, chuck, chuck, chick, chuck, chick, chuck, chick, chuck. Oh, it's wonderful. That mechanism music. It's a giant, it's the mechanical and the grotesque in Prokofiev because the clock has like little imps living inside it and they jump around and do things. And then the music that characterizes the evil stepsisters and things like that. That wonderful game with the oranges. It's Prokofiev in a little bit more modernistic terms. And he takes the story very, very seriously, which of course you have to if you're going to give it suitable treatment. I mean, this is a major, major work. Now, for a lot of years, there were virtually no recordings of Cinderella, aside from the waltz once in a while or something, because Romeo and Juliet hogged all the limelight. But as usual, in the 1970s and 80s, as the record industry was desperately seeking things to do by major composers, they started to turn to Prokofiev's other ballets. Even the Stoneflower got some play, his last ballet. And Cinderella really deserved quite a bit of attention because it's a major, major work and a wonderful work. And so simultaneously, Andrei Previn did it as an adjunct to his recording of Romeo and Juliet. And on Decca, where Romeo and Juliet was done by Mazel, they had Ashkenazi do it with the Cleveland Orchestra. And those are both very good recordings. I mean, they really are. They're first class. And then there were a couple more subsequently, which was really great. I mean, the work finally started to come into its own. However, the recording, which is one of the greatest recordings ever, I put it that way, is this one with Mikhail Jurowski and the WDR Symphony Orchestra of Cologne on CPO. Now, the entire ballet is 116 minutes of music here, which is nearly 2 solid hours, just a few minutes short. And I just think this has exactly what you want in this work. The Previn was known for its sort of romantic warmth, softer edges aspect. The Ashkenazi it's Cleveland. It was like razor sharp and quite intense. And this has the best of both. I really feel that. I mean, it has the right sense of balletic movement. The rhythms are well sprung. The sonics are fabulous. Absolutely wonderful. It has a lot of impact. The strings have the necessary warmth. It's a beautiful, beautiful realization of the entire ballet. And it's an important entry in this series because Jurowski did all the Prokofiev ballets except Romeo and Juliet. I'm not sure why they never did Romeo and Juliet. They should have done Romeo and Juliet, but they didn't. And they are splendid performances. It's a wonderful series on CPO, if you haven't heard it. And so I really was thrilled when this came out, and it's just so compulsively listenable as a performance. Really, it just glitters and glides, which is what this ballet really ought to do. So for me, it is unquestionably one of the greatest recordings ever, certainly one of the great ballet recordings, and a landmark in the Prokofiev discography in this work, in this particular work. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.